That's what we're doing now. See, Sunni don't like the Shia. Shiite don't like the Sufi. And the Sufi, which means sheep herder or one with wool, see?
Mm-hmm.
They were here before the Sunni and the Shia. See, the Sunni are the people who followed their own sunnah, which means the way. They practice a hadith worship. They hide the Quran behind their backs. And they have a sunnah of Muhammad. Muhammad never gave a sunnah of Muhammad. They have the only sunnah in the Quran is the one the Quran says never change. There's no change to Allah's sunnah. So the sunnah of Allah is the only sunnah we practice. First of all, the way of Allah is the way of life for us.
Because they said, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but the sunnah was just sayings of Prophet Muhammad.
Just sayings. And most of the sayings, he never, see, he separates his talk from Allah's talk. See? So that's where they begin to worship their own ideas. All right, and then you have the Shia, who don't like the Sunnah. They claim to only read the Quran. Then you have some that flipped it and only read the Hadith.
Mm-hmm.
However, the Shia, they don't bear witness to the manhood of Allah. The Quran ends off with Allah is the king of men. The king. The first pillar in Islam. What is the first pillar in Islam, brother?
You believe that Allah is God, Muhammad is not something.
Well, what is the quote they quote? There is no God
but Allah, Muhammad is not.
Besides him. Or he is unique, there is none like him. Right? They take him out and put it there. See that? With their ideas of Allah, the Shiite and the Sunnah, both together, the Sunni, they take him and he and we out and I out the Quran and put it. See? They make Allah a it. When the Quran speaks for itself as he, him. He sits on the throne. See that? I created these people with my own hands. This is Allah talking. When my spirit enters into them, bow down and prostrate to the black mud man. How does Allah have a spirit if he's not a man? A spirit is that which is subject to food. A spirit has to have air. A spirit has to have water. You see that? A spirit has to have things. A spirit is subjective to us, not us subjective to the spirit. And then when it says God is a spirit, see, did God say that? See what I'm saying? See, when we get to the sayings of the people instead of the sayings of the Lord. Yeah. All right, so now that we know the Shia is at war with the Sufi, and the Sufi was here before the birth of Muhammad. Muhammad's grandparents and Muhammad's parents were Sufis. Let's get to it real quick. Let's break down what the true Sufi is. Let's break this down. Since we know that Muhammad was a Sufi, how do we know that? Because his parents, something happened to his parents where he had to stay with his uncle, correct?
Right.
And he said his uncle and his grandparents were sheep herders. See? Sheep herders. So that means he dealt with Sufism. That's the practice of being a Sufi. It's dealing with sheep. Being a shepherd. See that? So before he even learned in the cave from Gabriel, as they put it, he was already learning the science of Sufism. So Islam was already in his blood. Now that we got that out the way, because the Quran said, for this day I perfected your religion. See? So it was already his religion. People had skipped over that part. All right. So, now that we know that, when you study his father's name, listen carefully, Muhammad, son of Amina and Abdullah. His father's name is Abdullah Ta'alib. But his grandparents' name is Abdullah Ta'alib. And then there's a hidden name of his that's older in history, Abdullah Talib Shabay. See? From the